Let's go. You made it to the Meal Prep Made Simple guide. So, in this training, I'm going to teach you how to prepare food for an entire week without spending hours cooking. What I mean by this is without spending hours cooking each night. Don't get me wrong, you're going to have to spend time here, maybe 2 to 3 hours one day a week, but it's going to make it so much easier down the road. You're not going to spend time and energy cooking healthy meals each night because you've set that time aside to prepare meals for the entire week, but also you're not going to eat the same thing every night. When I first got into meal prep, I didn't have a system in place. I would just go spend hours, preparing meals for the week, but then I was eating the same thing every night. And eventually I would fall off because it wasn't enjoyable, right? You want to enjoy the food that you're eating. And I think that comes with having different combinations, eating different varieties of healthy food to make it something that's enjoyable. So we're going to learn this system and know that it's going to take some time, right? I'm going to give you this framework. This is like the training wheels in a sense to set you on the right path, but then you can go and make this your own. And you're going to get used to this, and it's going to be a lot easier as we go through it. So before we get started, meal prep can be really boring for some people. Um, you might be eating the same thing every week, or you might prepare a ton of food. And then when the time comes where you need to get more groceries, you don't have a system in place. So that means, okay, you can either go to the grocery store, make another healthy meal, spend an hour and a half, or what most people do is, for me, example, I'm not going to go back to the grocery store and recook a bunch of food for the entire week. Instead, might go get fast food or go get a frozen pizza because it's a lot easier. But with this system, you are able to set time aside one day a week and you have food that's going to last you the whole week to make it more enjoyable. We're going to create balance here though. Like that, right? That's the purpose of having this be enjoyable too, is not eating healthy meals 7 days a week and not enjoying any of the foods that you like. I want you to be able to go out to happy hour with friends, go out to eat on the weekends and enjoy those foods, but this is going to give you that balance that you need. So with a solid plan, it's just going to take you maybe 2 to 3 hours one day a week so you can hammer out your meals and be prepared to confidently crush the week with little to no stress. So, some recommended equipment, I think that's a funny word. You can get a slow cooker. That's really nice. It saves a lot of time down the road. Have a large cooking pot and pan to make larger amounts of food for the week. And then obviously just, utensils and a cutting board to be able to prepare the food. And then having some sort of storage container to hold the food in the fridge is really helpful. You want to start by planning your meals. So you'll need to know how many meals you want to prepare for the week. I recommend just preparing for lunch and dinner. I think that's a lot easier if you're saying, all right, 5 days a week, I'm going to eat lunch and dinner of the food that I prepared. And all you have to do is then go buy enough food for 10 meals. And then you have those, 2 other days in the week, the lunch and dinner, to enjoy food that you like. And that's those 4 other meals down the week. So pick one day of the week to prep all the food. I really like Sunday. I think it's just a nice way to like reset and have food prepared for Monday through Friday. Um, so you're going to choose two options for protein, carbs, and veggies. And I recommend making this plan before you go to the store. I've wasted so much time thinking, oh, I'm just going to figure it out at the store. And I wasn't setting myself up for success. So in this guide, it's going to be a lot easier for you because you have these options here that you can come to, make a plan, and then go buy the food and get it prepared for the week. So obviously, once you get the food, then you go to the grocery store and prepare it. Um, let's go to the bottom of this guide. So this is what you're going to do before you go to the grocery store is make a plan. And we're going to choose, right, two options for protein, carbs, and veggies. So what I would do is, let's just use this week, for example. What I did is I chose two things for protein. So I chose chicken breasts and salmon. So that's the two sources of protein. For carbs, I really like quinoa. And then I made some like baby white potatoes, really simple, really good. And then for vegetables, what I did is I just got bell peppers and onions, and I like to just mix those together. If you want another option for veggies, what I also do is I just buy frozen vegetables at Costco, and it just makes it easier because I can, they're already cooked. I just need to warm them up, and that's prepared for the week. So technically, I have two different options for vegetables, but they have a combination for each one. All right. So you have the food, you have the plan in place. Now what you need to do is go buy the food and go prepare for the week. So once you make your plan, you have the shopping list. It's going to make it a lot easier. But we're going to start simple. I'll show you different ways to use this guide. But all right, you have the plan. Now when you get home, you're going to follow these 5 steps to simplify your meal prep. So you're going to prepare the protein. You have those 2 different sources of protein, right? The salmon and chicken breasts. What I would recommend, right, if you want 4 ounces of meat per meal, then you'll need 2.5 pounds of meat for 10 meals. But you can, like, you're going to get used to this system as you go through. So what I did is I just got a big size of salmon, and then I went to Costco, so I got a ton of chicken breasts that I have in my freezer. But then I just cooked about 5 to 6 large portions of chicken breast that I could use later in the week. So you'll go cook those. If you need help cooking those, what I do all the time is I just go to YouTube, how to make chicken breasts on the stovetop. It gives you the instructions, but the most important thing too is knowing like how long to cook it and the temperature, the internal temperature of the meat. While I'm doing this, while I'm preparing the chicken breasts and salmon, I'm looking over there because that's where my kitchen is, you're going to prepare the carbohydrates. So then I just got a pot, put the quinoa in it, and then it was boiling while I was cooking the other thing. So you can multitask here. You might need to kind of stay on top of your toes. But all right, you go set the quinoa on the stove top, let that cook. And then I just cut up the baby potatoes and started boiling those so that they can get soft before I heat them up in the air fryer. So what you'll do is you'll just start cooking the protein, put it in the oven. I was cooking the chicken breast in the air fryer. While that's going, then you can move to the carbs, get those prepared. And then the last thing that you can do is prepare your veggies. So like I said, I had the frozen veggies from Costco. It was really easy. I can just go heat those up. While everything else is heating up, then I have that time to cut up the peppers and onions and put them on the stove top so that they're prepared for the week. So again, you'll go through, cook each source that we have, the protein, carbs, and vegetables. You can kind of read through this guide, right? I have different things like seasoning options for veggies, olive oil, Italian seasoning, garlic salt, onion powder, salt and pepper, anything to make it taste good. We don't want these meals to be bland. I want you to get explorative. I want you to explore a little bit what you can create, right? You're the chef, you're in control. So find ways to make it tasty. Once you prepare those, then let's move to number 5 before we talk about 4. Then you can just decide on how you're going to divide your food. Personally, for me, instead of like putting them into each container for lunch and dinner, I'm not sure what I'm going to eat. So I just put each thing in its own container. I put the salmon in a container, the chicken breast, quinoa, the veggies, and the potatoes. So they're all there. Then when it comes time to cook for lunch or dinner, if you want to prepare lunch, if you're going to go to work, you have that container. You can go and just put the portions in each one, the source of protein, carb, and veggies, so you can heat it up at work. Or for dinner, you come home, then you can make the plan for what you're going to make and just put it on the stove top. It's going to take maybe 15 minutes for you to heat up. The reason why I have you choose 2 options for protein, carbs, and veggies is that they're not just 2 options for meals that you can have. You can mix and match. So, for example, with the chicken breast, I would do chicken breast, quinoa, and then peppers and onions. If I wanted to switch it up, but I still want the chicken breast, you can do chicken breast with the baby potatoes and then the vegetables that I got from Costco. Or you can have the salmon with the quinoa and peppers and onions, salmon with potatoes and those vegetables from Costco. So you'll see how it makes it a little bit more exciting because you have more combinations rather than just 2 options for meals. From here, right, you have all your food prepared. It's going to make it a lot easier. But the other thing that you can do is plan different options for fruit, snacks, nuts during the week. So when you come down to this list, before you're going to go to the grocery store, then what I would recommend is just choosing, 2 things of fruits. Like this past week, I got blueberries, and then, you can get a pineapple, have that cut up. It's ready for the week. And then for fats, I really like cashews, and then I'll also get avocados. And then this is just making it easier. These are like different additions that you can have into your meal. So you can have nuts on the side for lunch, or you can add avocado in with the quinoa, chicken breast, and peppers and onions. So you'll see how this all comes together, but I like to choose, usually 2 options for each. So it's like 10 out of these 5. And then if you want to get, maybe some yogurt or milk, then you can do that as well. I'm kind of giving you a lot of information here. I want to make this as simple as possible, right? Like we need that framework so that you can get headed in the right direction. But what I would recommend doing is just go to the shopping list, choose those things, make a plan before you go to the grocery store, go buy the food, and then you'll go back up here, prepare the 2 sources of protein, 2 sources of carbohydrates, and 2 veggies for the week. And then you're probably going to spend 2 to 3 hours. But once you have all that prepped, it's going to be so much easier down the road. All you have to do is just reheat the food and you have your meal there. So again, this makes it so much easier. Let's say it's a Thursday night and you don't have a lot of time to spend an hour and a half cooking a healthy meal. You already have food made. All you have to do is warm it up and you have yourself a healthy meal that's going to, support your nutrition goals and save you a lot of time and energy. If you're like, I don't know, like, how do you come up with these combinations? You come up with them over time, but what I'd recommend doing is just go to this list, write down or highlight the options that you like. You can choose multiple options from each one. Then we have this thing called ChatGPT, which is really helpful. I want you to use that as a resource. So you have all that food, write down all the food in ChatGPT. Hey, I'm going to the grocery store trying to plan food for the week. Can you give me different options for food to make with these ingredients? So then you just put all the ingredients that you highlighted. It's going to spit out a ton of meals for you that you have to make when you want to make that plan for the week. So this is the Meal Prep Made Simple guide. I hope I made it simple for you. Know that this is the framework or the training wheels that you need to get set off in the right direction, but make this your own. As you get comfortable, you'll start to know the meals that you like and you can switch it up a little bit, choose different sources of carbohydrates, try new foods. I created this list for you so that you have the options here. There are plenty of times where I come back to this list and I'm like, I totally forgot that was a thing. I love sweet potatoes. I haven't had that in forever. I'm going to make that this week. This makes meal prep so much easier and more enjoyable because you have different options to make, but also it's just saving you a lot of time and energy so you can eat healthy throughout the week without spending an hour each night cooking lunch, cooking dinner. Okay, so go through this guide. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm obviously here to support you, but this is a really good framework that you can start to use to make meal prep simple and easy.